Once again, lovely good morning students. Welcome to LPSRS Riverside School. Students, today we are going to start with our third chapter, that is the Shepherd's Treasure. We'll proceed. In a village in Iran, there once lived a shepherd. He was very poor. He did not have even a small cottage of his own. He had never been to school or learned to read and write, for there were very few schools in those days. Though poor and uneducated, this shepherd was very wise. He understood people's sorrows and troubles. Right, students? Now, this chapter is related with a shepherd. In a village in Iran, there lived a shepherd. He was very poor. He was so poor that he didn't have even a small cottage of his own. And he never went to school. He didn't know how to read and write. There were very few schools in those days. So this story is related with many years ago, right? Though he was poor, uneducated, but he was very wise. He understood people's sorrows, troubles, and helped them to face their problems with courage and common sense. Right? We know that he was uneducated, he was poor, but then too he used to help other people with the courage and his common sense. Many people came to him for advice. Soon he became famous for his wisdom and friendly nature. So, as he had habit to help other people, as he was very wise, so he became very famous regarding his wisdom and his friendly nature of helping other people. The king of the country heard about him and thought of meeting him. So, as he became famous, the king of the country also heard about him and he thought of meeting him. Disguised as a shepherd and riding on a mule, one day the king came to the cave where the wise shepherd lived. Okay? So, as the king heard about the wisdom and friendly nature of the shepherd, he visited him on a mule in the cave where the wise shepherd lived. Right? As soon as the shepherd saw the traveler coming toward the cave, he rose to welcome him. He took the tired traveler inside the cave, gave him water to drink, and a share of his own meager meal. The king rested for the night in the cave and was greatly impressed by the shepherd's hospitality and wise conversation. So, now king's visit to shepherd. As now shepherd saw the traveler, means he saw somebody king coming over him, so he rose to welcome him, means he greatly welcomes him. Then he tells him to come inside the cave and gives him some water and also a meal. The king takes rest for the night and he was impressed by the behavior of the shepherd and his wise conversation. Right, students? Now we will see what happens further. Though still tired, the king decided to depart the next morning. He said, "Many thanks for your kindness to a poor traveler. I have a long way to go. Permit me to live." Looking straight into the eyes of his guest, the shepherd replied, "Thank you, your majesty, for paying me the compliment of a visit." The king was astonished as well as pleased. He is indeed very wise. He thought to himself, "I need people like him to work for me." And the king appointed this humble shepherd the governor of a small district. Now, king decides to depart next morning. Though he was tired, he said that he has to go very long, and he thanks shepherd for his kindness and asks him that can he leave. Then shepherd looked in his eyes and said him, "Thank you, your majesty, for paying me the compliment of visit." Right? While listening this verse, the king was very astonished as well as pleased, because he thought that really the shepherd was very wise, right? Then he decides that such humble people he wanted for him to work, and he appoints the shepherd the governor of a small district. Although he rose to power and dignity, the shepherd remained as humble as ever. People loved and honored him for his wisdom, sympathy, and goodness. He was kind and just to one and all. His fame as a fair and wise governor soon spread throughout the country. So students, as king appointed shepherd as a governor, he got power. Though having power and dignity, he never changed. He remained same as humble as ever he was. As he was same, people loved and honored him for his wisdom, his kindness, his good work. People loved him. He was kind to one and all. He was similar with all, right? His fame and as a fair and wise governor, right? His work, his duty, his kindness, everything spread throughout the country soon. Now, the governors of the other provinces grew terribly jealous of him and began to talk to the king against him. They said, "He is very dishonest and keeps for himself part of the money that he collects as tax from the people. Why did he always carry with him?" They added an iron chest. Perhaps he carried it in the treasure that he had secretly collected. Now students, what happens? As he was getting popular because of his kind and humble nature, the governors of the other provinces, means other cities, they got terribly jealous. Right? Now they began to talk against him. Means they talked against him that he is not good and all, and they said that he is dishonest and keeps a part of money that he collects as tax from the people, right? So they were talking wrong about him, that why does he collects money that he is taking from the people, right? Perhaps he carried it in a treasure that he had secretly collected. Means they were trying to reduce his popularity, to make him bad, because they were jealous of him as he was very kind and humble. Right, students? For today, this much only, students. Further, we'll proceed in next session. Right?